we're going to be looking at compound sentences involving inequalities. With that being said, we're going to start off with actually just your basic inequalities, just as a refresher to kind of get into what a compound sentence would be. So as a refresher here, an inequality is the greater than or less than sign. So let's say that I have x is greater than or equal to -4. Remember, graphically, I'd be at the -4 with a closed circle because there's a line underneath. It's eating the variable, so I go to the right. With that being said, a compound sentence is going to have two different inequalities in one. Okay, so we have what's called an and statement and an or statement. We'll look at the and statement first. An and statement is an intersection. So for example, I could have -2 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 4. This is an and statement because it's an intersection. This is what lies between, is a common word you will see. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this. Because the -2, it's like I can separate it out into two different inequalities. So I'm going to look at the green one. I'm going to have a circle at the -2, but it's going to be open because there's no line underneath to include it. This is going towards the right because the sign is eating the variable. Now I'm going to look at the second part of this compound sentence. I have a closed circle at the 4, and because it's not eating the variable, it's going towards the left. So if I look at this, I have an intersection and it's between -2 and 4. So both arrows are going towards each other. Our answers have to fall within that range. So an or statement is then a union. This is including, it could mean either but not both. So for example, if I had -2 is greater than x, or x is greater than or equal to 3. So if I look at the first one, I'm going to have an open circle at the -2. It's not eating the variable, so I'm going to the left. Or I'm going to have a closed circle at the 3. It's eating the variable, so I go to the right. So notice here, and the arrows are pointing towards each other, an or statement, they're pointing away from each other. I will say this, that with a union, you can have them pointing in both directions, but it is an intersection if they're pointing towards each other.